this topic today that you're bringing to the table, I think is a super important topic. So I want you to listen up. If you are somebody who is looking to potentially sell a property that needs work, there is hope. You can get top dollar for this still, and also buyers who are looking to go in and find a property and you can't find what is perfectly turnkey. We've got solutions for you to find properties that may need work, that may need some upgrading. And Paul has a program or several programs perfect for you, and it's Renovation Loans. Paul, how do these renovation loans work, and what type of documentation do we need to make them happen?
Absolutely, Emilio. So great topic here. Renovation loans. As we all know, there are properties out there, great properties with a ton of potential where they might need a little bit of upgrading or, certain little things done to get the house where it needs to be. So in this market in particular, you can find these houses on a regular basis when you're with the right advisors, for sure. Angle Volkers, you guys are great at showing people these properties, getting them to the closing table. So I will tell you this, with renovation loans, essentially it's similar to a traditional application. The biggest difference is, in addition to your personal documents, your tax returns, your pay stubs, your bank statements, all that stuff, we also need a contract signed with a licensed contractor. So we would need a contract drawn up that basically breaks down the work to be done as well as the cost. More or less it's plans, potentially if it's a larger project, specs that show materials and break down the cost. I mean, I would say with these programs, there's two different options. You can do like more or less they call a limited or full. And with a renovation loan, a house that needs a limited example would be maybe a house that needs, maybe they want to do a small upgrade to the kitchen, or maybe put new countertops in, or maybe put in, some cabinetry or some hardwoods, something, $35,000 or less. That's considered a limited. A full is a larger project, as you know, $35,000 plus, but more for those houses where you might need a, $50,000, $100,000 makeover, maybe $200,000 in some cases. So with these programs, what we look at is okay, what is the house worth today? So we're looking at, appraised value. Okay, let's just throw numbers out there. Let's say a house is worth, as is, $500,000 today. But, with the work that you want to do, let's just say, a rough number, let's say $100,000 worth of work. So essentially a house is worth $500,000 today, but $100,000 worth of work, $600,000 all in. With our renovation loan, there's two types. There's a conventional, which I think is a great program. There's also an FHA 203K, which I know you've heard of those as well. Conventional to me in this market is great. You can do as little as 5% down. So let's just do that scenario we talked about. House is worth $500,000. Let's just say $100,000 for work. Now we're at $600,000 total. 5% down would be $30,000. And that $30K would be basically your only down payment. And then what happens at closing is the $500,000 would be, given to the sellers, of course. The $100,000 for the work to be done would be held in an escrow account at Northpointe or with the attorney, and that money will be dispersed based on the work being done. And this program with conventional, I think, is phenomenal because it allows you to have the same guidelines you would for a traditional conventional loan, but have the renovation, component added to it. And we can close these in 25 to 30 days. 203K, for people who are not aware, it's an FHA program with 3.5% down. It's the same, renovation loan, but keep in mind with a 203K loan, you have to follow FHA guidelines. And in a nutshell, they're a little more strict sometimes. They look for things that, maybe conventional will let go. Also, with a 203K loan, you're dealing with a 203K consultant that has to be involved in every step of the process, which slows things down. And so in this market, when you want to be ultra competitive, it's more money, more expenses, and also takes longer to close. So if you want to have a 30-day closing and make your offer very, very, very strong in this market, that conventional will let you do that. The 203K, it's very difficult. It's usually a 45 to 60-day close in most situations, in my experience.